Hey, good evening. Good Tuesday to you. How is everyone doing? It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, mainly because nobody else wants to be. But I hope you're having a wonderful evening this evening, and I hope everything's going just Jim Dandy for you. As I say, it is good to see you and good to be seen by you every night. And welcome back to the show, folks. All you nice people out there in TV land. We've got a pretty good evening planned for you tonight. Hello, Doomsword. Tonight we're going to delve into, no pun intended, we're going to delve into some N1 against the Cult of the Reptile God. And then we're going to get into some actual playing of AD&D tonight, which I think hopefully that'll be something you guys will enjoy. Greetings, Lux. Hello, Jorge, Robert Phillips. But anyway, so we've got the stuff going on. Hey, Kabuki, good to see you. But before we get into that, of course, you guys know them, you love them. Our sponsor is Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde Games, they make the kind of adventures that they'd like to play, whether it's for 5th edition, Castles and Crusades, or the OSR. Hellebarde has got old school at the table for you. And you can check them out at DriveThru RPG or on their website, hellebardegames.com, where guess what? You get 50% off of their in-print 5th edition modules. That is a swamp full of mystery and dangerous lizard men. It is a desert caravan trail full of adventure. Use the discount code 5EOOP when you order their in-print 5th edition products to get 50% off from Hellebarde Games. You should definitely check it out. Greetings, George. Good to see you. Maybe Robert, maybe. We're going to talk a little bit about N1 against the Cult of the Reptile God tonight. The Reptile God. Oh my God, Monica, it's a reptile God. So we're going to talk about that. Hey, have you signed up for that great underground online gaming convention that all the cool people are talking about? You should definitely check that out on warhorn.net. That's the great underground online gaming convention. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 4 days of gaming. You don't have to leave the comfort of your own home. You sign up. And by the way, it's $0 to play. You sign up, come to the virtual con, join us on Discord, play in some great games. There's a cash prize AD&D tournament. I don't know if there's any seats left. We'll have to ask that of Doomsword, but there is a cash prize D&D tournament, guys. I am going to have all kinds of drawings for prizes. We've got some awesome art pieces donated by Jack Photon. We have merch created by the Dungeon Minister. You can find him on Teespring and get all kinds of merch for the convention. That's glasses, t-shirts, dice bags, everything. Technically, they're pencil bags, but you can stuff them full of dice. And gosh, what else? Oh, yes. Saturday, we're having the Artist Alley. Tracy Lesh will be on Artist Alley. That's a little live stream we do. And you're going to be able to buy some Tracy Lesh artwork merch. Tracy, I created the Mind Flayer Lesh. Tracy, I was there at the beginning of OD&D Lesh. Tracy, I have so many illustrations in Dragon Magazine, you can't easily name them. Lesh will be on Artist Alley on Saturday evening, and we'll be talking to him. He will have a link to his store where you can buy stuff, And just for the con, he will be selling autographed prints. That's right. So don't miss out. Don't miss out. It's good stuff and it's a lot of fun. It's $0. It's $0, guys. You've got chances to win some amazing pieces of art, to buy some amazing pieces of art, to play in some amazing RPGs. So come one, come all. I hope you will do that. Speaking of fun stuff that's coming up, and I'm not just talking about AD&D tonight. Tomorrow night, my co-host Kyle will be back in the house. We're going to random it up. We're going to random your stuff up tomorrow. You thought random terrain, you thought random dungeons were the extent of our powers? You're wrong. We're going to look at random demon creation and random sword creation tomorrow and have a lot of fun with that. And then on Thursday, that's the day after tomorrow, for those of you who don't do the math. Thursday, Errol Otis will be here. Thursday's show starts at 7 o'clock, not 8 o'clock. That's 1900 Zulu. I don't know if it's 1900 Zulu, but it's 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Errol Otis will be on the show. We've got an hour of this very, very busy man's time. Don't miss out on the Errol Otis show. Don't come back to me and say, is he going to be back next week? Because, I'm saying you underestimate my power, Lux. So, get an early seat for the Errol Otis stream, because it is gonna, there's no reserve seating. Okay. First come, first serve on the seating for the Errol Otis show. So if you're stuck way in the back because you thought to cheap out our concession stand and stop by the Walgreens and put your Reese's Pieces and your Twizzlers in your cargo pants pockets, and that made you get here late, and then you had to find parking, and then you're stuck in the back and Errol's a dot in the distance, don't blame me. Okay? Thank you, Death Angel. I had no idea. It just sounded cool, okay? Lots of people were saying cool things, and I wanted to be cool too. Is that all right with you? I don't know how Zulu time works. Sorry. But anyway, guys, let's look at some N1 Cult of the Reptile God tonight, and before we play AD&D. So let's jump over into that. Death Angel's going to keep beating me over the head with the Zulu thing. Actually, it's all good, man. All right, so let us present, share screen, share screen, share screen, share screen, share screen. There we go. So we'd gotten through the end of the Slumbering Serpent. The parlors, the bedrooms, the outhouse. Now this is the Temple of America. Not going to do it. Who is the reptile god? You'll just have to see. You'll just have to see, Vincent, who the reptile god is. I'm not just going to hand it to you on a plate. All right, so this is the Temple of America, and all the jokes I've been cracking about, that guy and his media presence. America is a chaotic good goddess of agriculture in the world of Greyhawk. Her temple in Orlane is, it's got some problems. But anyway, you can see here's a really good map of the temple. And what is underneath the temple? There's an actual maze in the cellar. Something else I appreciate is a good maze map. I'm terrible at making mazes. I am absolutely abysmal at making maze maps, and anytime I can crib one is a good time. There's a good one in S4, Lost Caverns of Sojkonth, the Minotaur Maze. You guys know what I'm talking about. And here's another good one. So get a good look at the map. We're not going to linger on it too much, but here we have a dungeon level. It's a nice, tight dungeon level. It is reminiscent at a glance. Back me up on this, guys. At a glance, does this not remind you of the monastery dungeon in the Dungeon Master's Guide? You know what? Let me see. Let's have the adventure. Oh, that's Line Adventures. That would take us everywhere. Is it after? Mazes and Monsters is a hip game. I'm trying. I'm trying to remember what page the sample dungeon is on. Does anybody remember that off the top of your heads? Okay, there we go. I think I have found it. Because I think Doug Niles was channeling a little bit of this dungeon map. Just a little bit. Look around this area here where I'm circling with the pointer. Now let's hop back to N1. You've got your individual cells over here. You got your stairs down. You got your water trap room over here. Doesn't it seem like that? All right. But anyway, there's our dungeon level 1. And there's a second dungeon level. You get 2 dungeon maps for the price of 1. There's a map of the Golden Grain Inn and its cellar and all its horribleness, because you got the ghouls back there. You got just bad stuff in the Golden Grain Inn. And then there's the Inn of the Slumbering Serpent. Now let's jump back into the town. We have the winery. We're going to read about this location. This is Olwen's pride and joy. Fermenting here are some of the finest grapes grown for many leagues, slowly turning into both red and white wines of excellent quality. The outer room is a small office with a desk and many records of different batches of wines ranging back for nearly 40 years. The large inner room has huge vats of grapes in various states of fermentation, 2 large clay jars stoppered at the west end, and 24 casks of wine stacked against the north wall. In the center of the room is a huge bin full of fresh grapes. And remember, adventurers, this room can't easily be conquered. Lavish guest room. This room has a luxurious feather bed, a closet, desk, table with chairs, and an empty trunk with a key in the lock. As with all of the guest rooms, this one is empty. A traveler through our lane is a rare creature these days, and we got various rooms and whatnot. And then we have the cellar. Have to put my readers on early tonight. They're a little grubby, pardon me. You better believe it's a dad joke. Starting early tonight. All right. Okay, Temple of America. The Temple of America was dedicated to that benign goddess when it was constructed from granite blocks brought all the way from the Lort Mill Mountains. However, the Naga's possession of the two clerics and their servants has made a mockery of the church's original purpose. Although weekly services are still held to keep up the pretense, the clerics are amongst the cult's most adamant proponents. They play an active role in the deception of unsuspecting victims. The granite wall around the temple is 20 feet high. The gates are strong and wooden. Carved into them with precise craftsmanship is an ornate carving of the chaotic good goddess America, portrayed as a beautiful young woman. The temple building itself is made of solid granite blocks and is completely windowless. By the way, I just bit the bullet when I ordered this module off drive-thru and got a print version. So, it'll be here in October when it's completely helpful to my efforts on the show. I wonder why I get out of bed some mornings anyway. During the day, the courtyard is open. A broad path leads to the doors of the temple. The courtyard itself is empty except for a gardener, and its grounds are not well tended. If disturbed, the gardener, a temple servant, will rudely direct the characters to the main temple, then ignore them. Get off your horses, walk over there, walk up the stairs, it's through that door. Rudely directing them. It is pitch black. You are likely to be eaten by a grue. After dark, the gates to the temple are closed and barred from the inside, and 2 trained wolves are released to roam the courtyard, where they sing a Duran Duran song. These will obey any of the 5 servants who care for them. The servants are alternate the duty of patrolling, and 2 of them will be with the wolves at all times, and then there's the stats on them. If a fight breaks out, the 3 servants who are not on patrol will hear it and join their comrades. Excuse me. Outbuildings. The largest outbuilding is a kennel and private quarters for the wolves and servants who patrol the grounds at night. Adventurers investigating it will be rudely turned away. The other buildings house general supplies, farming tools, and the like. Central sanctuary. The large room has a tile floor decorated with an abstract mosaic pattern in orange, tan, brown, and blue. Several tapestries decorate the walls, all depicting scenes of lush farmland and crops in various stages of maturity. 5 huge elm trunks serve as columns in the room, and a statue of America carved from a solid piece of jade is mounted on a low dais at the north end of the room. If adventurers are just visiting, they will be met in this area by Misha Devi, a priestess of the temple. She will caution them that non-members are not allowed beyond this area. She will answer many questions politely and try to find out what the characters are doing in the area without revealing any information of importance. She will not let the characters get too close to her, and if the party is hostile, she will flee and warn the rest of the temple. Alternately, the DM could have the characters meet a temple servant with similar results. The statue is worth 5,000, but weighs the equivalent of 10,000. I once studied ancient Greece, but all I found out was that it was a lot tackier than the new stuff. On the one hand, I'm not very proud of that joke, but on the other hand, I am very, very proud of that joke. So there's a meeting room. Apparently, this is apparently a larger room divided by rich blue drapery just west of the door. The area that you see is empty except for 3 plain wooden benches. There's a dining hall. The pretense of goodness is maintained in a handsome display case, which contains examples of the finer harvest to come to the Orlean area. A huge carrot, a plump ear of corn, a cluster of tall wheat stalks, and a bottle of the local wine. Kitchen's just got some odds and ends. There's an evil monk. There's an evil 4th level monk. So, one that can murder the entire party in one of the meditation cells. Misha Devi's Outer Chamber. I have that on DVD, Misha Devi's quarters will be found here during the evening and 50% of the time during the day. If not here, she will be tending to the business in another room on the ground floor of the temple. Excellent. Hey, TXG. Damien, that sounds like a lot of fun. Misha is a slender and attractive young woman who's been a cult member for nearly a year. She hails from Pittsburgh. She likes water skiing. Let's welcome Misha Devi. I'll kill you all. Misha, I have just been in a temporal stasis spell. What would you do to wake me up? Slit your chest open with ease and then rip your heart out from between your ribs. Can I declare? See, I have a classic Roman nose. It's been Roman all over my face since the day I was born. Let's see. She has a snake's head amulet around her neck that's made out of gold and has 200 GP rubies. The amulet's worth 1,000 intact. She has a suit of chainmail and a shield in her trunk, which she will don if given warning of an attack. Armor class 3. Now, something that, I talked about this once upon a time. But I want to say I did that so I can ask you guys if you saw what I did with my reading glasses. This brings up an interesting point. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos on putting on armor. And I can hear some of you guys, Amp Guard, SCA, you deep in your historical books. This oversimplification might hack you off, but the thing that I think a good measure is for donning armor, padded chain and leather, you're really only looking at about a round to don. Something heavier like scale, splint, that you actually have to hold up, bring up over your head, ease on, and I might even say ring mail in that. Anywhere from 3 to 5 rounds. Full plate, 10 rounds. So your characters who are like, I jump up and put my armor on. Are you wearing chainmail? No, I have full plate. See you in 10 rounds. Now, to ease that, I generally knock a round off for pluses. So +2 plate mail, 8 rounds. If you have someone to assist you into bulky armor, you can reduce that by rounds up to 2. 3 people are not going to get you dressed any faster. The minimum time is 1 round to don armor. So, +5 plate into attendance. I will still say, that would be 5 and 2 is 7. That would still make 3 rounds. But yeah, +1 chainmail and an attendant. Or rather, +5 chainmail and an attendant. It's going to take a minimum of a round. But anyway, moving right along. She was originally dedicated to America, and she now seeks to undo her former service to the advancement of the cause of the reptile god. And then she has some spells. Hall of Statues. The hall has a gleaming white tile floor and a series of alcoves along the east wall. Each alcove is lined with black velvet to highlight the beautiful golden items there. That's interesting to know, Jack. All of these statues represent plants that America's benign blessing helps to nurture. Each contains an amount of gold equal to 500 gold, but the workmanship of the statues makes them worth 5,000 each. From north to south, the niches contain replicas of a stalk of wheat, a potato, a cluster of oats, a corn stalk, a large carrot, 3 turnips, a bunch of grapes, a cluster of barley, and a pile of beans, intricately molded statues of pure gold. The fact that the reptile god's minions have let the exquisite items remain in their traditional spots would suggest that it is best not to tamper with them. This is true since America's curse will immediately befall anyone who touches them. The effect of this curse is similar to that of the reverse 3rd level clerical spell Remove Curse, but it's more difficult to remove. Curses from touching more than one item are cumulative, but only the individuals who actually handle the statues are cursed. Thus, if a character disturbs 3 of the objects, 3 curses would be received. If more than one curse indicates an ability score is lowered to 3, it will be a different ability each time. Saving throw versus spells is allowed for each curse. For those still saving, saving still suffering a -2 on all die rolls for 3 days. Failure means the curse will be permanent unless a cleric of at least 12th level casts Remove Curse and an atonement on the culprit. Guard room of the undead. This bare room contains only some wooden benches and 8 skeletons standing against the walls. These undead, armor class 7, dead, yada, 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 will remain motionless until a living creature enters the room. And then, that's how you do skeletons. There's a pile of skeletons in the room. And it always follows that my players will, your players will. Don't feel bad about this. If you put skeletons as dungeon dressing in your adventure module, they're going to say, I turn. I'm ready to turn. Or I pour holy water on them. Or I smash them to flinders or whatever. It's just how it goes. No, Jack, I think I think absolutely that the dawning of basically taking anything that is plate and rigid and on straps or a harness and slowly putting it on your body so as to not injure yourself or damage it, whether it's plastic stormtrooper armor for cosplay or full plate for a live steel fight, it's going to take time. It's absolutely going to take time. Robert, I saw that. Get out. We'll wait until you leave. No, I'm just kidding. My jokes are far worse than that. Let's see. Most of the volumes, it's a library. Most of the volumes deal with mundane aspects of agriculture or religion. The most ornate book in the room is on one of the tables entitled A Most Worshipful Guide to Benign America. The huge and richly embossed volume will not fit on any of the shelves. I got books like that. Not dedicated to America, just books that won't fit. I bought a book in the 80s that I still have, and it's still an incredibly useful book. It's called The Guide to All the World's Warplanes. And I'm not kidding you. It's that wide at the bottom and about that high and about that thick. It's a compilation of aviation books by noted aviation historian and author Bill Gunston. and many, many others. It is chock-a-block full of photos. And when I was 18, I was pretty sure I could fly an F-111 after reading it. But it doesn't fit anywhere. Like, even if I adjusted the shelves on the bookcases behind me, I don't think there's enough room between the pins. Oh, unregistered hypercam, that's awful. You know, that makes me think of the passing of my grandfather. He went quietly in his sleep, which is how he wanted it. Not screaming in terror like all of his passengers. Small meeting room, like you have in churches. This chamber contains a small table and 2 comfortable chairs with an unopened wine bottle and 2 clean glasses on a shelf in the corner. We'll have to ask Dungeon Minister about that one. I had made a comment about sacramental wine to him once, and he was like, "Oh, it's all the way at church, though." Torture chamber. Now we're talking. A rack and table with heavy straps attached to it occupy the center of the room. An Iron Maiden stands in the corner. Several empty pine boxes, about 6 by 2 by 3, are stacked against the west wall. Well, what are the boxes for, Doug? You don't tell us what those are for. What was formerly a storage room for the ample supplies of grain and vegetables that the faithful provided for their cleric's disposal has now been outrageously defiled. It is here that Derek Deslay does much of his dirty work. Misha and Abramo also use the devices as means of coaxing information from reluctant citizens before they have been converted. Give her the comfy chair. We cannot break this one's mind, my lord Abramo. Why? He just keeps laughing. The boxes are the magical cabs and amps for the band. Hell yeah. The goblins' quarters. 9 goblins who live here were captured by the cult's members in the dim forest and dragged to the dungeon of the reptile god. There they were charmed in order to serve as temple guards, out of sight of the citizens of Orlean. Yeah, that's that thing that like 5e players are like, ew, I want to play a goblin artificer. She's cute. Anti-chamber. If you take the chamber and the anti-chamber and you slam them together, you will be able to measure the weight of the Higgs boson. Anyway, the door to this area is unlocked. When it is open, several small bells attached to it will chime softly. The walls of this chamber are scratched, stained, and covered with strange markings. Loose chips of stone lie scattered on the floor. Aside from the southeast exit, the room appears empty. This is the antechamber to the quarters of Abramo, originally a cleric of the gentle America. His charming by the Naga and resultant alignment changes seriously unbalanced his mind. He has scrawled meaningless gibberish on the walls of this room with soot and colored pigments. Abramo will always be around the corner, the double corner at his position B, watching the party. He will flee if the party appears too strong, but he will otherwise attack as suggested later. He is a 7th level cleric. This guy is a bad cookie. He wears chainmail +2 even in bed. Abramo uses a lot of shower to shower and baby powder and talcum and gold bond. And his shield and mace will be handy. His spells are, and then it lists his spells. A good strategy for Abramo is the following sequence. And we like that. Sometimes it's nice to see kind of a breakdown. Hey, man, I'm always funny, Jimmy. Abramo's chamber. This room is decorated in a bizarre fashion. There is a dirty straw pallet on the floor, yet two soft and expensive armchairs rest at a low table. A beautiful robe hangs on the wall above a battered locked chest, while the floor is strewn with muddy rags. An exquisitely crafted wooden desk has been placed near the northeast corner of the room. At various points around the walls, small iron hooks for hanging tapestries have been set into the stone. There is nothing of value in this room. The rags are barely recognizable as tapestries. At one time, these showed pastoral harvest scenes. The desktop is covered with insane scribblings in the lawful evil alignment tongue. Snake Mother and A Crocodile Has Many Teeth are examples of Abramo's scrawlings. The chest contains only ripped clothing of poor quality and worthless fragments of ivory that once made up a statue of America. The secret door at room 18 can be masked with a tapestry and used to be masked and can now be detected at +1. Is open simply by pulling a hidden switch on the desk. Okay. Secret altar room. Now, I take a little bit of exception to what's going on here. Now DMs, do as you will. But remember, we're dealing with a spirit naga. It's been implied that America is indirectly got her fingertips still in this. Abramo should be getting constant saves. Okay. He's 7th level. Something should have come along to give Abramo a save. And changing his alignment because of a charm spell, I don't know. So in the secret altar room, this large room is dirty and unkempt, with shards of rock lying around and 4 crude granite statues standing about the room in haphazard locations. In the southeast corner is a polished jade figure of a snake with a female human head that is set apart from the other statues by its obviously superior crafting and material. Near it, a small cage with iron bars holds the listless figure of a beautiful young woman clothed in tattered rags, in addition to brass-bound chests sit against the east wall. The woman, Cyril Phinia, is really no more than a girl. She's the daughter of the village storekeeper. Her listlessness will vanish at the prospect of rescue. She made the trek to the Naga's lair with the rest of her family, but some untapped reserve of courage and determination prevented her from succumbing to the charm. Her youthful appeal struck a chord somewhere in Abramo's demented subconscious, and he brought her back as his personal prisoner. And yeah, you can play that out however you want, DMs, but I think it's pretty obvious what went down. Thank you, Dungeon Minister. Make sure to subscribe to Dungeon Minister's channel on YouTube. He's actually growing it in a wholesome and organic way, so his videos are worth your time. Dungeon Minister, sacramental wine, good stuff or not? I mean, is it something that is aged and it's like, you know, this is a 1991, this is a 2002. I'm not being funny and I'm not trying to make a joke at the expense of the church. I'm just curious. Yeah, you can't take away the NPC's agency. She has seen the effect of the charm on her family and will not wish to return to them. She understands that they would only betray her unless the charm can somehow be broken. Cyrilli will relate everything she knows, but under no circumstances will she return to the lair of the reptile god. Cyrilli knows that the chests were emptied recently, so the hoard is now quite meager. Usually awful. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. The jade statue is a skillfully carved image of the Naga, whom Cyrilli will name as explicit. I love this. This sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Explicita defilus. And let me tell you what, if you're going to visit your kid at Hogwarts and you hear him shouting that, you pull him out of that school as fast as you can. I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. I will share that in the chat. Read that and tell me that that's not a Harry Potter spell. Explicita defilus. Oh no, the snake has got me. All right, let's continue. Shades of violent. Shades of violet. Well, I mean, it's D&D. It's going to happen. Shades of violet, brown, and green jade have been blended into a masterpiece of evil. Light from torches or lamps will cause the colors to swirl and shimmer in an almost hypnotic pattern. The statue is worth 7,500 gold pieces and will weigh that much in GP equivalent. It is impossible to break into smaller parts while retaining any of its value. That spell gets you a life sentence in Azkaban, and even the Dementors don't want to look at you. Defile us. Oh, that was hypercam. That you. Should we question him more? No. God, do you know what he did? No, what? Explicit. Oh, ew! We're just gonna slide your food trays into the door. What's wrong with you? God, what makes me want to take Voldemort up on his offer to play chess. The other statues have been chipped from granite and are as ugly as they are poorly crafted. Abramo created them himself, gleefully explained them to his captive, so the last can identify them as a crocodile, 2 large lizards, and a coiled cobra. The fragments of rock are the remnants of a statue that has been shattered. At one time, it was a likeness of America. Behind the statue of the Behind the statue of the Naga is a secret trapdoor that leads to room 9 beyond the ground floor of the temple. Only Abramo knows about it, and he will use it to escape. We have a hidden hallway. We have a maze, which makes sense because America is the goddess of agriculture, so they have corn down here. Secret door, troglodyte tunnels. This earthen tunnel has no stone shoring or supporting timbers. Consequently, much fresh dirt lies on the floor, and we have a lot of troglodytes. One of them has, or in their treasure rather, is a brooch of shielding. Cult activity as time passes. I think we're kind of... Oh, no. They got tactical consent just as he was typing it. Trog tunnels are... Kidnapping party members. So if the party decides to stay at the Golden Grain Inn, the cult will act immediately to capture some of the characters. To set this up, let the characters select their rooms. Beswell may try to split them up. As DM, ask them about their sleeping arrangements. Be sure to mention that sleeping in armor is uncomfortable and may attract parasites or disease. Most characters will probably be armor class 10, though generous DM may allow base protection of up to AC 8 leather. Now, I don't know about attracting parasites or causing disease, but... Oh, most definitely what's up. Okay, all right, I gotcha. Whew! I was worried tactical. I thought they got to you. The targeted individuals will be those in the room with the smallest number of occupants. The attack comes between 2 and 4 in the morning. If only 1 or 2 people are in the room, Misha Devi, Derek Deslay, and the 5 lackeys from room 11. Some of my favorite soft pop bands from the late 1960s. Derek Deslay and the 5 lackeys. That was their hit on Cole Jim's record, All My Springs Remembered. If more than 2 people must be dealt with, both clerics and 3 troglodytes from the ruins of the Foaming Mug Inn will join Derek and his cohorts. Players may have to be separated briefly while the encounter of the kidnapping is enacted, since those staying in other rooms will not know what has happened. Misha will cast a silent spell upon a small stone, silently open the hall door with Bertram's passkey, then cast in the stone to cover the room in silence. Now, for those of you DMs who are a little hard-assed and are like, no, silence doesn't move. Yes, it does. Right there. Doug Niles, they said to pass the smell test at TSR. So, yeah, silence on a stone. Light, darkness, silence. You can cast them on objects that you can pick up and move. Bell peppers are delicious, by the way. All right. So basically, it kind of explains the tactics. This is the DM may wish to use the non-lethal combat system from the DMG, or just use normal combat system, counting characters reduced to 0 hit points or below as knocked out instead of killed. Please, DMs, don't use the non-lethal combat system in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Not if you want to finish the encounter that evening or afternoon or whenever you're playing. So the one thing I'll give this whole section is it says, if the kidnapping is successful, the victims will be removed to the secret room of the cellar in the inn, where Derek will stay to keep an eye on them. All their valuables will be confiscated for the chests in Temple Room 18, although there's a 66% chance Derek will manage to skim 10 to 40% of the cash. They will be kept in the cellar for 24 hours, and on the following night, they'll be moved to cells in Section 22 of the temple. After 3 to 18 days, an expedition will be ready to depart for the dungeon, and then, again, in the middle of the night, the prisoners will be started on the road to the reptile god. The expedition will include the 4 troglodytes from the temple, Donovan Allard from the constable's office, and the 2 men from the farm 18. Any other prisoners taken by the cult will also accompany the group, but treasure will only be carried if one of the chests in the temple has been filled. If a chest is brought, the prisoners will carry it. But it doesn't say this has to happen. I'll give the module that. There's a lot of railroady bits, but this does not. That's very forward of you, Connect. I didn't know you felt that way about me. So, yeah, the Naga. Yeah, one unarmed combat and 1E. Don't do it. So once at the dungeon, the prisoner will be marched directly to Explicita Defilis and confronted with a Naga's Gaze, save versus paralyzation or be charmed. Newly converted members and those who attempt to disguise the fact that they have not been charmed will remain with the Naga for about 3 hours. During this time, she will talk to them and wrap them in her coils. Okay, Doug. It is 80% minus 1% per level experience likely that those who have not been charmed will react with revulsion to these advances, thus revealing their deception. Example, a 3rd level character would have a 77% chance of being discovered. Hi, Mobius. Don't worry about it. We haven't... the fun is just beginning, Mobius. Those who fail to become charmed will be placed in Dungeon Area 23, where they will remain for 2 to 8 weeks. After this time, they will be fed to a group of the hungry reptiles that roam the underground lair or killed and animated as zombies. Those characters, the Naga Charms, will be pumped for information. After several days, they will be assigned to serve in the cult as given on the table. Guards, lackeys, escort Iggy Olivero to Hook Hill and help him start a cult there. Serve as Explicita de Violas personal bodyguard in Dungeon Area 37, or assist a cleric in Dungeon Area 27, females. And so there's a list of NPCs that can be potentially kidnapped. If the party does not stay in the Golden Grain Inn, cult activity will not be directed at them immediately. In that case, there's a 10% chance each night that the cult attempting to capture a citizen or family from the village. When an attempt is made, roll 1d6 on the cult target table. If an attempt is made on a given night, however, the next 4 nights will pass with no activity, and then the 10% checks will begin again. These checks are also taken if the player characters leave Orlane for a time without destroying the cult there. Now remember, the widow, messing with her is bad juju. If you guys remember the description of the widow at Area 20, the small, neatly kept cottage. What are you guys in the chat even talking about? What are you guys even talking about? I'm not repeating what Mod Hunter just said or what just popped up on my screen. I'm not. Duh. So there's the chart. On a 1, it's the widow in the cottage. 2, Taylor in the house. 3, elves in the cottage, who are, of course, resistant to charm. That's not going to end well for them. The jeweler, wife, and guard, betrayed by the spy. The thief, his wife, and the cook, her lover. Don't watch that unless you have a very strong stomach, by the way. Liveryman and family in 8, and the weaver and his wife in 5. And it says the attack pattern is pretty much the same. We get a nice picture of where you're going to be, where all this is going down. In case you were wondering, there is a section of the map of Greyhawk showing all these various locations. So let's see. Charmed player characters. Characters who meet the gaze of the Naga and become charmed can be a special problem for the DM. The player character should be taken aside, the situation explained, and the player is encouraged to play the situation in character as a loyal follower of the Naga. If the player cooperates, the situation can be interesting. If not, the DM should disallow actions he deems out of characters. This is where the module starts to kind of go off the, well, go on the rails, as it were. Hello, Orbital Air. In the course of the adventure, it is possible that an entire party may be captured. While it is possible for the DM to declare the adventure over, it is often more interesting to keep the plot going. Clever characters may work out a plan to escape, or an opportunity might present itself. Outside rescue cannot be dismissed as long as Ramney the Ranger, and the mayor are still active. Because there's nothing players enjoy more than having their butts saved repeatedly by non-player characters. I think it's less insulting if you just say, well, you know, that's how that goes. Or just let them create new characters and fight their old characters. The most important consideration is that the players assume key leadership roles as often as possible. Well, yeah, But if you deprotagonize them by, oh, but you were all rescued by these NPCs, it's a little, it's like if you were playing Twilight 2000 and it's like just every so often elements of the 1st Armored Division that are still together just show up with fully fueled Abrams tanks and Bradleys loaded to the brim with tow missiles, and they just happen to have air cav there with Apaches to knock out the Russians. And that's where we kind of, and I'm going to kind of wrap up tonight about wrap up the N1 talk tonight a little bit, where I'm starting to get into the criticism phase of the module. So as you may have noticed, this is a module that concerns a spirit naga, which they cast magic spells, including fireball. And I'm not going to go into it yet, but there is something specific that has to be done, that has to happen for the players to survive. I mean, the module just flat out says, well, this has got to happen. The central premise of the module is solid. Something's capturing citizens, turning them against America, and the whole town is being sucked into becoming a cult. The way that Doug Niles handles it, in my opinion, is not great. And we'll get on to that later. I don't want to sound like I'm just slamming it just for the sake of slamming it. But we'll get on to that later. We'll dig into it more on Friday. Tomorrow, Kyle will be here. We're kicking off at 9:00 Eastern tomorrow. Because we got to give the guy a chance to get up, be with his family a little bit. And then Thursday night, Errol Otis will be here. And you don't want to miss that. We don't want to miss that. That is at 7:00. Errol Otis will be in the house at 7:00. And I'm so looking forward to Errol being here. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am about Errol Otis coming on the show and telling us, just giving us the straight dope. That's what I'm talking about, orbital air, when I was saying, the first air cav shows up. Now, I'm not going to get into the background of Twilight 2000. If you guys don't know what it is, I'll tell you another time. We'll do a deep dive into it again one of these nights or something. But the U.S. Army Vehicle Handbook, they do kind of expand on it. There are a fairly tiny number of still operational aircraft in Europe during Twilight 2000 setting, but I'm not launching into it right now. I'm not going into it. So tonight, we're basically pushing the big reset button. Speaking of Twilight 2000, we're not playing Twilight 2000. Tonight, we're gonna start what will hopefully be a long running campaign. It is a classic module. I think you guys are going to like it. I think the players are going to like it. We're waiting for folks to file in. So hopefully, yes. TK is coming in as Sir Standard. And they're all we basically, after the near total party kills in previous sessions, we're starting a new. We're not going to be in the city of Greyhawk this time. So we're just waiting for Mark and Doomsword. T2K game. I mean, I actually did like a tank and infantry duel. I did like one NATO tank versus like a BIMP and a T-62, or maybe a couple of T-55s. It was a short demo, and basically I wanted an excuse to print out some 10 millimeter scale tanks on my then brand spanking new filament printer. And I can now do much better with a resin printer. But let me just check real quick. I don't want to miss anyone. All right, so Mark will be joining us next time. He's not going to be able to make it tonight. So without further ado, let us welcome in our lineup of players. And everybody, put your hands together. Or don't, I can't hear you. For tonight's adventurers, and say hello to Baron von Headbanger, Mobius, TK, and Doomsword Deathmaster, and hopefully Mark will be here next time. Now, are you gentlemen all in the dice rolling tray page? Are you guys all over there also?
I've totally forgot about that.
Oh, that's okay. I will.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. We have this awesome dice rolling app. So, and for those of you who don't know what that is, who didn't see it on its debut, there it is. So you guys can watch at home. You guys can see the dice rolls. You don't just have to hear the click, click, click. So, uh-oh.
Big lag.
Bit of a lag. So players, can you hear me?
Yep.
4.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Let us prepare to begin. You have your characters there. We will introduce them after the preamble. The realm of mankind is narrow and constricted. Always the forces of chaos press upon its borders, seeking to enslave its populace, carry off its riches, and steal its treasures. If it were not for a stout few, many in the realm would indeed fall prey to the evil which surrounds them. Yet there are always certain exceptional and brave members of humanity, as well as similar individuals amongst its allies, dwarves, elves, and halflings, gnomes, half-elves, and half-orcs, who rise above the common level and join battle to stave off the darkness which would otherwise overwhelm the land. Bold adventurers from the realm set off to the borderlands to seek their fortune. It is these adventurers who, provided they survive the challenge, carry the battle to the enemy. Such adventurers meet the forces of chaos in a testing ground where only the fittest will return to relate the tale. Here, these individuals will become skilled in their profession, be it magic user, or cleric, or thief, or fighter. They will be tried in the fire of combat. Those who do return hardened and more fit. True, some few who do survive the process will turn from law and good to serve the masters of chaos and evil, but most will remain faithful and ready to fight chaos wherever it threatens to infect the realm. You are indeed members of that exceptional class, adventurers who have journeyed to the keep on the borderlands in search of fame and fortune. Of course, you are inexperienced, but you have your skills and a heart that cries out for adventure. You have it in you to become great, but you must gain experience and knowledge and greater skill. There is much to learn, and you are willing and eager to be about it. Each of you has come with everything which could possibly be given to help you. Now you must fend for yourselves. Your fate is in your hands, for better or worse. Ahead, up the winding road, atop a sheer-walled mound of stone, looms the Great Keep. Here, at one of civilization's strongholds between good lands and bad, you will base yourselves and equip for forays against the wicked monsters that lurk in the wild lands. Somewhere nearby, amidst the dark forests and tangled fens, are the caves of chaos, where fell creatures lie in wait. All this you know, but before you dare adventure into such regions, you must become acquainted with the other members of your group, for each life will depend upon the ability of the others to cooperate against the common foe. Now, before you enter the grim fortress is the time for introductions and an exchange of information, for fate seems to have decreed that you are to become an adventurous band who must pass through many harrowing experiences together on the path which leads towards greatness.
Nice to start in the keeping the borderlands. That's always fun. That's gonna be awesome. Well, I guess time for introductions, isn't it?
Yeah, am I? Sorry, am I the only one having trouble hearing TK?
Yeah, he's glitching
No.
out a little bit.
We're having a little robot problem from you there, TK.
Okay, let me try my.
Oh,
let
way
me try
better.
a different Wi-Fi source.
Much better. While he adjusts that, if you guys would, if someone else would like to introduce.
See, I'm in the right place. I'm Vroog Dorn, and I'm a warrior of great repute. Not necessarily among these parts, and not among other parts either, at times. He's a 6'4", human-appearing individual, but he looks. To people who are familiar with such things, he has the bone structure and that kind of thing of what might be a half breed, a half orc. Whether that's human, an orc, or whatever is kind of hard to tell. He has a very muscular, heavy build. He's wearing splinter mail armor, carries a medium shield strapped to his left side, and carries a long sword in a scabbard at his right side. Nearby is a hand axe that looks like it's seen its fair share of duty and war, and strapped across his back is a light crossbow. He has reddish brown skin and darker red hair, which would be typical of a particular Iridian mix.
All right. Well, I take a look around as if like no one else is going to go and say, "Oh, well, my name is Darren Nora. I'm a cleric. Very nice to meet all of you." He's wearing splinted mail with a large shield strapped to his back. He's got a flail and a staff. And he pulls off his helmet, extends a hand in greeting to all of you.
Okay. I'm playing. Well, I am in this instance. My elven name is something I refuse to give. I'm no longer in that company, therefore you will not have it. But I am. You can call me Standard if you would like. That's about all you're going to get. And I am playing in this instance, Standard is a elf. It is an elf basically playing what would be the AD&D version of an elf. He's all of 5'1", maybe $180 if he's made. Well, actually, no, sorry, maybe maybe 100 pounds if he's wet, and he kind of looks a bit like Bruce Lee in that sense, as in the sense that he is all lean and muscle, and that's about it. Otherwise, he is bald with his large almond-shaped eyes. Kind of looks like an alien. I'm in leather, and I carry a perfunctory sword, but my one proficiency is devoted to my bow.
Okay. Hi. I'm Elmer Sticky Fingers. I like to take things that aren't mine. He's a little guy, looks more gnomey than hobbity, and dressed in leather with a hood, has a short sword, a couple of daggers, and a sling, and a little twirly mustache.
Okay. You have traveled for many days, leaving the realm and entering the wilder areas of the borderlands. Farms and towns have become less frequent and travelers few. The road is climbed higher as you enter the forested and mountainous country. You now move up a narrow, rocky track. A sheer wall of natural stone is on your left, the path falling away to a steep cliff on the right. There's a small widening ahead where the main gate of the keep is. Blue-clad men-at-arms who guard the entrance shout at you to give your names and state your business. All along the wall, you see curious faces peering down at you, eager to welcome new champions of law and good, but ready with crossbow and polearm to give another sort of welcome to enemies. Hello down there. Who approaches the gates of the keep?
I'm Vrug Dorn. I've heard of riches among these parts. These others, I know them not.
This man's a lying bastard.
Don't get me killed yet. Come on.
Well, no, in the sense that you know us. Don't try and alienate us now. You're stuck. You're stuck with the mount. You're stuck with an elf and a hobbit and a weird bald hobbit. One whose hairy toes have long since fallen out.
We are weary travelers come to seek refuge from the elements. Unbar those gates and let us in. Good sirs.
Yes, Jorge, this is really B2. They regard you there, Elmer. Do you give your name?
Yes. Why not?
You are called White Up.
Also known as, why not?
We call him Paste.
Elmer, Sticky Fingers.
We call him Paste.
You are a strange and unusual lot. However, you do not. If you are an army seeking to subvert us from within, well, you have too few in number. Open the gates. There's a great clanging, and the mighty portcullis opens.
Feet hurt, and I'm hungry.
Now that we can help you with. So the main gate has two towers about 30 feet high with battlements. They have opened to the portcullis, and you can see the busy courtyard there in the mid-afternoon as folk kind of look over when they hear the gate open. Others seem a little bit more jaded about things and just kind of glance over and go on about their business. I'm guessing you all enter the gate?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, before they shut it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
No dilly-dallying. Come on, boys, let's go.
Yeah, it kind of
Okay.
caught out here.
So you enter the gate. The inner is lowered behind you, or the outer is lowered behind you before the inner is opened. And when you glance around, you notice that, yes, indeed, there are murder holes above you. And you can see a little bit of light twinkling through, which is occasionally blocked. You are definitely being watched through the murder holes. So if you guys have any, if anyone passing through the gate has any intention of taking it by force, you're at least going to take a little bit of damage here. The inner gate opens, and again, now more clearly, you see the interior of the keep. There are many common buildings to your left and your right. There's the Black Pony Inn directly in front of you, and many other structures await.
Do they have machiculi?
I'm sorry?
Do they have muchiculations? Are the walls matriculated?
Yes, they are. So in through the gate you ride, and you find yourself in a broad courtyard. There, as I said, there is a long row building in front of you. There's a sign that you realize now didn't indicate that that's where the inn was, but there's an arrow, and it's pointing along to the south on the wall. There's good wives, there's carpenters, there's all sorts of working class folk who seem at least passing you. It is a narrow paved entry yard. Are you guys afoot or are you mounted?
I'm on foot.
I'm walking. My feet hurt. Let's go to the inn.
Right, that was going to be my question. You said we rode in. That's if we had managed to like buy a horse, not that we start with horses, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on foot.
Riding a griffin, thank you. No. Okay, so this is something I would know from getting thus far. Also, by the way, sorry viewers, I sound like death. Out of the group of us, who of it, not Paste and not the half orc. So you two are ruled out. But so are you the front man then? Mobius?
What, the face?
The face.
Good question.
Because it ain't the half orc. It ain't me. I have a charisma.
Ain't me.
It's not me.
I guess so then.
Do you have a higher charisma than 9?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. You are more likable than any of us here. Sorry, I'm not volunteering the thief.
Well, he's got sticky fingers, and he just he can only get into trouble. And the half orc, oof,
Well, actually, that's a question.
hitting the head with the shovel.
Is Elmer more charismatic?
Is he what?
Is Elmer more charismatic?
Well, I have a 12, but I prefer to not be out front.
You're not a smooth talking thief.
Okay, Mobius, looks like it's it's all you.
I'm not a smooth talking cleric, but we'll try.
That's
Let's
okay.
go.
We'll shove the cleric to the front.
Quit shoving.
Cleric's going to carry more weight than a little gnome, probably, anyway.
I'll prod you down the street with my 10-foot pole.
So Vrug travels with you.
Yeah. I look up at him. Yeah, sure. Follow me. We're gonna go get something to eat, Berg. Come on.
Well, Vrug has the rules.
I look back at him. I'm like,
First rule, listen to the cleric.
Well,
and what might these rules be, Berg? Talk and walk. Let's go. Follow me.
any of you people
He's smart
touches
enough.
my stuff,
Oh, God.
and you're dead.
Lighten up, Francis.
Any of you people touches me, and you're extra dead.
Okay.
So is the half-orc smart enough to talk and walk, or are you gonna like stop every time you talk?
Whatever makes you happy.
I'm trying to get an image for it.
The orc is at least dual core, so he's actually able to run a few threads at once. Okay. So you
Seems
turn
able to
south.
multitask to me.
You turn south down the entry cart. There are large doors. One indicates a traveler stable. The other indicates a trade warehouse on your right. Turning right again, you see a row of what must be private apartments situated along the inner south wall of the keep. They are all small, well appointed. The place is fairly well kept up. There's flower boxes on one of the windows. On your right, you hear the sonorous, resounding clang of hammers and the occasional whoosh of bellows. And indeed, jutting out above the double doors where you hear this going on is a sign with a picture of an anvil with a hammer striking it, and underneath that, in common, in red letters against a white background, Tarlaw's blacksmith, or Tarlaw's smithy, excuse me, Tarlaw's smithy. Now, just a quick pause here. For those who are wondering, yes, this is still set in the world of Greyhawk. This is along the area near the Pomarge, which is a fairly nasty little section in the world of Greyhawk. So mankind is, well, good people kind are trying to roll that back up. So the smithy and armor, the building's about 20 feet high, and it does have a parapet. It's got a defensive parapet, as most buildings here do. The lower floor is occupied by a forge, a bellows, and other items. The smith is quenching a piece of armor. You're not sure what it is. It looks like stock that he's working into something. There are also horses and mules waiting to be shod, and you see the occasional piece of armor that needs to be repaired with rather ominous looking dents and rents in them. He kind of nods and then goes back to working the metal.
Question.
Yes.
How many stories are the apartments?
The apartments themselves are mostly single story affairs. Let me just see. There are a couple that are in fact single story. They look to be about, let me give you an idea here of how big these are. It may just be, yeah, they're not huge. They're about you're not sure if it's like the single occupancy ones, but like the family units are 2-story, and what are probably singles are 1-story, and they're all about 20 feet wide and 10 feet deep.
They all have windows?
Yes.
Okay.
Facing inward. And not just decorative windows, I should point out. They have slit windows on them. They are defensible.
I bet the Baron here is a really nice dude. He's handing out licenses to encastolate literally everywhere.
I'm sorry? I didn't catch that.
Oh, I said I bet the Baron that lives here is a really nice dude. He's handing out licenses to encastolate pretty much everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, just mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah.
You too.
That was my medieval nerd coming out. Sorry.
Well, fruit thirsts.
Yeah, we're going. Come on, let's go.
Okay. So continuing on your right, you have a there's a sign out. It says Delaney's, and Delaney's General Store. There's just a ton of various items that have been carved onto this board. You think that like it's too busy. You think those are supposed to be a pack of a stack of sacks of grain, a wine cask, a coil of rope. Just it's too busy. It's too busy.
Brisk business going on there. I'll keep passing it and looking for that in.
There is an obvious trader / outfitter just beyond him. His sign is a bit simpler. It's a sword crossed over a torch. Now, between the smithy and the general store, there is a 10-foot wide opening that shows that there are more buildings to the north beyond where you've come. But at the end of this broad avenue that you're looking down is an opening that that's also 10 feet wide that shows more buildings in that direction. So you can turn to the north or you can keep going to the west. It's up to you guys.
Anybody out here milling about?
Oh yeah, there's lots of people that everyone seems to be pretty busy. There's no one's really lollygagging. You see a fellow, he's pushing a wheelbarrow full of coal to the smithy. The shopkeepers are out sweeping up. They're chatting to each other, but they are keeping clean. You don't see much activity on your left near the apartments, probably because the folk that live there, you would guess, are all at work.
I'm gonna barge in front of one of these people. Oh, there! Where is the drink?
Do me a favor and give me a percentage roll. Add any kind of bonus you get for your charisma.
In your instance, it's like a minus 20% penalty, I'm sure.
It's only a minus to non-orcs and half-orcs, right?
So, in other words, everyone else.
All right, so it's a minus 10. That's not too bad. I can live with that.
A 95. So yeah, you kind of startled this fellow, and he chuckles affably and says, "Oh, my friend, you startled me. A brave traveler such as yourself, sir, would be well served. Turn north upon this street here." And he does indicate the dungeon master needs to scroll back up and get to where he lost his place. I need a better organized version of this module. At any rate,
Preach.
he indicates to you the tavern. Yes, the Black Mane Tavern is where you wish to go, good sir, and I wish you the finest of days, brave adventurers such as yourselves, coming to do battle with the forces that threaten our very existences.
Sensing that he doesn't have much of a problem with me, I'll go ahead and slap him on the back a little bit harder than I would the average halfling.
He and kind of way you all see his bundle. So he has basically told you to continue on. I said turn north. I meant to continue to go west to the courtyard, then turn north, where you'd find the Black Mane.
I believe we go that way.
Well, all we have to do is follow the wall.
Okay.
That's not funny.
continuing that way and encountering people again going about their business. There's a couple of carpenters working on repairing a section of wall. You come to a fountain square. There is a large gushing fountain here, and just north of it, across the court, you see the Black Mane Inn. There are folks sitting at barrel tables outside, carrying on conversations and banter and whatnot, perhaps having a late lunch after a hard day's work. And that is where you've been directed if you are looking for drink.
Oh, yeah. I stomp up. I turn to Vrew. I'm like, we're here. I'm like, I'll buy the first. I'll buy the first round, my friend, and walk up the steps and hold the door open for him.
This isn't going to be like the time in Marrakesh, is it?
Which time is that? Must have been good. I must have had a great time. I don't even remember.
For the last time you bought this man around, we had to rob someone to pay off that debt.
It was Elmer.
No guarantees. And then we
Okay. So there in the tavern, written in common, which you can all read. I mean, anyone here who has an int of like 3, I can't help you, but you're all. What is Vroog's intelligence, by the way? Just
It's a 6.
Okay, so pretty stupid. Vroog can speak common and orc and whatever else.
Yeah.
But
Right.
he grunts a lot.
You're okay, but here's the board of fare. Ale is an electrum piece per pint. Small beer is a silver piece. Wine is an electrum. Honey mead is a gold. Bark tea is a mere silver. If hungry you are, bread is a copper piece per slice. Pudding is a silver piece per bowl. Soup is 1 silver piece. Stew is an electrum. Roast fowl is a gold piece, and a roast joint is 2 gold pieces. Cheese is 1 silver piece per wedge, and fruit is a silver piece for a couple of pieces of fruit.
I look at the guys. I'm like, beer, stew, and cheese for all.
Oh, I'll put down some silver for my for my pudding and some bark and some bark tea.
Yeah.
You might wish to worry about them. I think the as I'm sure you know, the orc is probably going to take my share of the booze.
I just want the strongest.
As I said.
Funny elf.
I look around for the serving girl. As soon as I see her, I yell, "Lass, over here!"
The barkeep comes over and that's all right, sir. It's rather dim in here. I should likely open the windows. The sun starts to dip over the walls.
I was hoping
so
for something a little easier on the eyes, but you'll do. Beer, stew, and hunks of cheese for us 3.
What is this joint?
That's roasted lamb, sir.
The whole thing?
A good portion of the legs, sir.
Give me one of those too.
Of course, sir. For those who didn't catch it, the reaction roll from that guy was phenomenal. I just rolled it for the group since you guys are in a party, and it was. I mean,
He likes this.
charisma gods are with you guys tonight, right? 100, a 95, even with negatives, and then a 100. So
beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, he is happily filling your orders, and there are let me see. He says, "Oh, by the way, I hate small beer. Good on you for not ordering it. If you
Small beer.
if you want something that makes you feel a little less addled but refreshes the thirst just as much, I happen to have a keg of cider.
Vroog wants to be less miserable.
Made it from the last of the fall apples. It is as sweet as a pie. Imagine drinking a mug of apple pie.
Or two. Bring them.
Maybe after the meal for me.
All right.
I look around. I kick back. I look around. Is there anybody else in this establishment?
Is there anyone else in this establishment? Well, let's see. On this given day, yes. There are some rough and ready types that are here.
Side eye him a little bit.
Okay. There's a couple of fellows here. They kind of glance over at you. They definitely look able. Scarred up hands, muscles, calluses in the right places, tanned faces. These don't, to your estimate, workmen. Not sitting in a tavern in the middle of an afternoon when everyone else in the keep seems to be busy, or they're here obviously eating a meal. These guys are sitting here slowly having drinks and quietly talking amongst themselves. They don't look mysterious or anything. They're not sitting in the corner in the shadows with cloaks pulled over their faces or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. I guess I just give him a quick nod and back to my companions.
Okay.
See what they're talking about.
So feel free to talk amongst yourselves.
Out of curiosity, does Vroog spot any games or gambling or that sort of thing happening anywhere nearby?
Drew, you see there is a cabinet along one wall, and all around the cabinet seems to be very nicked up. It looks like it's very frequently repainted over there. The cabinet is closed at the moment, and no one appears to be engaging in any games, but you suspect that it might be for throwing stuff at.
Vroog will keep that in mind.
So you're...
Hey, Vroog.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Vroog.
Hey!
I still have those 3 daggers.
You have 3 daggers.
Yeah, I've got 2 gold that says you can't that you can't beat me. I take the left floor of the cabinet, you take the right.
All I have is my axe.
That's okay, we can share.
Fair enough. Ha! Elf.
Alright. Closest to the middle of the cabinet wins.
Whatever pleases the elf.
Okay. Now, I should point out, when I say cabinet, it is hinged. There are 2 doors, and it looks like it opens up.
Well, do we want to open the cabinet first, or do we want to be... no, let's go open the cabinet first.
I'll watch him.
Okay, well, it is a sectioned bullseye target there.
Alright, so what do you... how do we want to resolve this? 3d20 rolls at our decks?
What we'll do is we'll do 3 2-hit rolls, and obviously the highest rolls are going to indicate closer to the middle. And yes, if you have a dexterity bonus to missile attacks, you may apply it. And I'll let you guys decide who's going to go first with their sheaf.
I look over at
I'm
Elmer. I'm like, "What do you think, Elmer?"
I'm the challenger. Defender goes first, or challenger goes first.
I got a silver on Vrug.
Very cares not.
All right, challenger goes first.
What say you, Elmer?
Oh, I'm just gonna watch.
Nah.
Let's see here. I can add. Let's see here. So I'm adding 1. Cool, and then I don't get any bonus to my attacks as a fighter, so it's just the 1. All right, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. So I should roll as well.
Yep.
Yes.
We'll see how we do on the first throw.
Oh, come on. I can't let this guy beat me.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Let's see. No, I don't want. Here we go. All right, throw number 2. That's about right. That's about the day I've had.
Right into the floor.
Yeah. There you go. I'll give you a
Alrighty.
pair. All right. All right.
That's not in the center, but so far, but you're still you're on the actual target. And okay, is it just me or is anyone not seeing Doom Sword's numbers on his dice?
I'm not seeing them either.
Yeah, I'm not either. I was wondering if that. Here, let me dump out of that and come back.
Okay. It's a new technology, folks. It's something we're trying out. It's really neat. Those of you who are seeing the purple dice as they clatter out over here, it's a lot of fun.
I am considering making my group use it.
It's pretty nifty.
Yeah, and it might be. I asked the guys over there to fix something for me because this Patreon thing wasn't working correctly, and it might have something to do with that. So let me try again. If not, I'll swap dice. Maybe it's the dice. It was working earlier.
You beat me.
Okay, yeah. So it's 1 in the outer center ring, 1 in the floor, and 1 just outside the target, but in the cabinet.
And I suppose I should roll now.
Yeah. Even if you roll.
Yeah,
a 1,
I still don't see that die.
Is that other
Oh,
group
that's
watching
funny.
these guys? Or,
That is for those who didn't see that. That was a 20. So Vrug just literally funks. Is it your axe or your dagger? Or
That would be my axe.
okay, yeah. Vrug, you just snap your wrist just so, and your axe thuds firmly right into the center of the target. And again, you roll the 100 on your reaction roll with the bartender when you called him over. He is impressed. He's like,
Well played, Standard. Ha, that's the best an elf has done against me.
Take your gold piece. You did good.
the bartender comments, can you do that every time you throw your axe?
Of course.
Only when he aims at dwarves.
Okay, so yeah, the men at arms are looking appreciatively at you guys, and they're talking. Has an arm like a ballista. Did you see that? He'd split a goblin's head from 20 paces, I'd wager. One of the mercenaries comes over and he says, Pardon my intrusion, fellows, but your band wouldn't be looking for an extra set of sword arms, would you?
I know not.
Huddle up, boys. How much money do we got?
So, how many? Yeah, how many of them are there? How many's offering? Is it just the one?
There's two of them, and they
Okay.
are that is two of them. And although they're not wearing armor and have equipment now, they say that they've got some of their own. If you, he said, basically he says, if you're looking to if you're looking to chance the caves, then perhaps we could work together.
How about 1 gold a month each, and half a share for you two to split?
All right. Give me just a moment.
I think according to standard rates, that's more than fair.
Okay. They consider this amongst themselves. Give me a percentage roll and add any bonus for your charisma, please.
I do. Do I get any? Yeah, no, I get none. I have a max follower of 4. Okay, so that would be. How do we do percentage with this one? I know how to roll a d10, but what about a d100?
Click two different 10-sided dice
That's
once each.
okay. Well, that's not. All right. Let's. Okay. Okay. So add all, replace all. No, I don't want narrative dice. I just want. That'll work. I'm not going to be using a d12, so that's fine. There we go. That'll work. All right. My apologies.
That's okay.
There we go.
It's kind of a new technology.
Let's see.
Hey, by the way, you mind if I dump out of my browser windows and come right back?
Oh, we'll see you. Yeah, not a problem, Doomsword.
Yeah, it might be my browser.
All right.
Okay.
48. Also, you can pair dice in this little quad stack here, which is kind of nice. So you can actually get all 7 dice in.
I'm going to add a bonus because you offered them a full share each, and they think that's a pretty good deal. So
I offered them a half share, not a full share each.
Yeah, you did.
To clarify,
right.
if that affects things negatively, so be it. I'm not giving them a full share each.
No, that's fine. You're taking a full share and splitting it in half for each of them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That still counts for something because that is, and it's not guaranteed. So I'm going to say, they said, well, we definitely would like to see the color of your money. We will expedition with you to the caves at least once and see what exactly a half share entails. If we come back empty and missing a finger or worse, then perhaps we'll consider this partnership completed.
I'll look up from my beverage. It will probably be worse.
right.
Everything will be fine. You'll see.
Is there? Yeah.
Well,
so go ahead.
I'll go ahead and pay them both now.
All right,
I'll
they
hand- I'll hand-
appreciate it.
I'll hand them each their gold. Payment up front.
Make sure you're not all too hung over. Don't spend this all here.
Of course not. Wine is for celebration after we come back. Okay, they say that first of all, they ask, "'Tis late in the day, and while it's not that far to the caves, any other exploration you wish to do in these parts, of course, must be taken with great care. When do we assemble, and when do we sally?"
So you know the way to the caves, then? You've been there before?
Aye, 'tis said it's an old abandoned dwarven mine. It is not far off of the main great road that goes westwards towards the coast.
I leave when the elf leaves.
Eastwards towards the wild coast, he says.
Claire, you're the boss.
Well, we're heading in the morning. I'm certain, right? It's too late in the day to go now.
Yeah, but do we have any other business in the morning before then?
In the morning? No, I'm sure I'm going to go take a look around town this evening after my meal.
Cool.
Go check out the store. Maybe the smithy.
As the teetotaler, I'll mind the newcomers here. So I'll make sure they don't get too plastered.
Okay, they actually, as soon as you pay them, they depart to the provisioner. They take their gold piece and depart to the provisioner, and you don't see them for a while. If you wish to follow them, you can, but they are leaving the Black Main Inn.
I'm sure they'll be around in the morning. I haven't eaten yet. Oh, wait.
Okay.
I'll
right,
fall
so-
to everything with unreserved gusto.
You've either got a couple of very good grifters, or your men-at-arms are heading off to provision themselves. Now, just to the east of the inn, or rather the tavern, I should say, that you're in, there is a traveler's inn where you may rest for the evening. Private rooms are a gold piece each, but sleeping in the common room is only a silver. It's fairly well appointed. There's no food or drink is served here. You can get a pitcher of water and a bowl, of course, at no additional charge. It's clear that he's at least on friendly terms with the tavern keep. Does anyone else wish to check out anything in the keep? There are plenty of other locations.
Is there a mage?
No. Well, I mean, if you spend a while walking around, you don't really see anything that indicates a magic user with his own business per se.
All right. Nope, that answers that question.
Is there any additional provision you guys wish to equip yourselves with?
No, I think I'm good.
Just like her.
All right. How are you sleeping? What are your arrangements for the evening?
Common room?
Yeah, I imagine that I would try to close down the bar basically until they kick me out and hit a common room.
Halfling and gnome. You two, right? Right. Am I confused? Do we have a halfling down here?
I
You
think
have a half.
Mark's
Yeah.
going to be a halfling thief when he comes in.
That's right. Okay. So I'll take Mark's halfling and you if you want, and we can cram the three of us into a bed. It'll be softer. I'm 5'1", so like I only take up like the top third. So like
Just stick him down at the end by your
stick
feet.
him down the other end, lay him the other way, right?
No, I'm sleeping on the floor in the common room. I'm pretty drunk. Probably just pass out on the floor.
Well, no, the common room is just like a dormitory or a barracks.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of.
Yeah, it's not. You're not sleeping on the floor. That would be unsanitary in so many ways. No, there's ample bedding here.
Hold on, so drunk here.
I don't care either. I like you, Dad.
As long as you are drinking and not causing a ruckus there at the inn, you are absolutely welcome at the Black Mane.
Who's the like when we came in? Who was manning the door or womaning the door? Like who runs this place?
The Travelers Inn?
Yep.
Oh, it's the innkeeper and his family.
They have names.
Yes. Actually, interestingly enough, it's Cooper.
Cooper.
Yes, he's the son of a barrel maker and decided he didn't want to make barrels anymore. So he took Dad's money and invested it in the inn. And the Cooper's Traveler Inn is doing much better than making stabs and hoops for barrels.
Start snoring a log, and here we go.
Okay. However you sort it out, you arise the next morning refreshed. Again, Doomsword, as long as Rug is buying drinks by the 11th chime, you are absolutely welcome. Or even if you're not drinking, as long as you're not being belligerent and ugly and making people not want to be in there.
Outside of appearance and whatnot, no. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like he's a military guy. He knows how to mind his manners in certain situations, even though he steps out of line. You know.
Okay.
I'll just drink till they take all my money or whatever.
All right. Well, assuming you're nursing it, are you buying the expensive stuff or just looking to get hammered?
Well, I imagine after the expensive stuff, I start feeling the hammering, and then I wanna cheapen up. I'm an experienced drunk, you know.
Yeah, they're probably serving him the paint thinner now.
All right. I mean, when you say you want to start with the expensive stuff, he was like, "I have honey mead. It's a gold piece a pint.
Is it as good as the cider?
It's sweeter. It's different.
Sweet.
All right.
I like bitter.
Okay. Then that would be the that would probably be the ale. Then that's an Electrum.
All right, I'll drink a bunch of those. What, I don't know, like 10 of them or something. And
right.
Yeah, after the cider, and I think the cleric bounced out before paying the tab.
There will. Oh, how can you not care for mead? I make mead. It's tasty. But I think you haven't had the right mead then. But I think after there will come a point where I think I will cut you off, at least if only so that you don't spend all of your money, because you do need to save some of your money. So I will come down and cut the cut the half orc off.
I will leave that up to you guys to role play out.
If
Yeah, I
only-
think generally speaking, the half orc is relatively amicable to that sort of situation, being that he's been in situations where things haven't worked out very well. He's not generally too belligerent, except in combat. Although he's unsavory.
Well,
I
what
mean,
else? Well, how much was it for a small beer?
Small beer is a silver, which is also the price of the cider.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because an electrum's half a gold, so at that point, that is right for this edition, right? An electrum's 5 silver.
An electrum is, yeah, I believe it is.
Okay, thank you. At that point, then, once you're too drunk to really care, Duke Sword,
Yeah.
I'm going to I'm going to take and I'm going to swap your ciders for or your ales for small beers, basically.
Thanks for the drink.
I'll lay out 5 silver for him.
Let's see.
Save your P's and Q's for when you're, cracking my head open. Or rather, saving me from it.
So if you're going to get completely hammered, here's the good news. While you're drunk, you're going to gain a couple of hit points.
Yeah.
Are going to be at, I believe, dexterity -4. Let's just check that out. If you can find that and talk about AD&D inebriation. Come on. Where is it? I don't believe that. In the right book, or am I in the? Nope. I'm in the right book.
That's like I looked for starting gold earlier today to calculate that out, and I didn't realize he didn't call it starting gold. He called it starting money, and that took me a minute to find.
All right. There we go. So your level of intoxication. You are greatly intoxicated. Your morale is plus 15%. Your intelligence is -6. You cannot speak. You are literally incoherent.
It's that scene from
Told you he grunts a lot.
it's that scene from Conan when he falls face first in his porridge.
Fame can fame can exact a price as much, fortune can exact a price.
Success will test one's mettle as surely as the strongest adversary.
Thank you.
I have a 0 intelligence, effectively.
Yes, you are now working on the same lines as skeletons and zombies. He literally has to pull you by the hand. You do not remember anything after you cross that line. Your
That's
wisdom is
common.
-7.
Oh, cool. So that's a 3.
Yeah, so you're not remembering diddly. Your dexterity is -5.
Okay. So that's a 9. Hey, I can still swing.
Not falling down. You haven't fallen down. Your charisma is -4.
All right, so that'll be a 2.
I'm not going to go into why that happened, and you're fighting at -5. However, if someone decided to assassinate you at this point, you would have 3 hit points. It would be very difficult for them.
Excellent. That's enough of that.
However, it was it was only small beers that got you here, so that is a mild stimulant, and therefore I deem that it will be about 7 hours before you're completely sobered up.
Sweet. I gotta go to bed.
Oh no, you don't. You're just like
Good point.
and down you go. The morning comes. If you guys want to do anything in the evening other than get up and use the chamber pot?
I get up, big stretch, put my armor on one leg at a time. And, yeah, go for a pee.
Okay. You all wake up and take care of your morning constitutionals. Walk the parapet for a bit, and as you are leaving the inn, coming around the southern corner into the courtyard, and you can clearly see them, are your men at arms. They are clad in let's see, they do have their own equipment. These would be the AD&D equivalent of heavy foot. They have leather armor and shield and a sword and dagger. So they do not have spears. So they are, and they each have a backpack, which it's bulging with various bits of gear. So they look at you. One you raises his fist and says, "Greetings, my lords. Are we to depart now?"
Yes.
You're late. Do you have to talk so loud?
Remember what I said. Don't do what I say, or don't do what we do. Do what I say. No drinking for you.
Let's just go.
All right.
Don't
So
puke in your helmet.
No, he pukes in his helmet. Remember what happened the last time you told him that? He puked in my helmet. I still haven't forgiven him for it.
So you depart the keep, and the men at arms. The leader of the men at arms looks at you and says, "Is it your intention to make straight for the caves of chaos, or shall we sally in other directions? I've heard rumors of bandits, wild lizard men, other unsavory things in the woods nearby, but tis your command we follow."
Well,
Straight to the cave, boys. What do you think?
I think let's go to the caves. I have what provisions I have. I don't necessarily need any more for the time being. But one thing I am going to ask the GM to do before we end today's session, I start with read magic, but I did not roll my other spells. So, I would ask the DM roll.
Of course. One moment. And we're only an hour in, so we've got a good bit of adventuring yet.
Good. Also, one question that I always have is my minimum number of spells is 7. My max is 11. I'm curious as to what that means. I never did understand that.
So essentially, your minimum number of spells, those are like literally, you can know at the very least 7 spells. At the very least, like you can't not know 7 spells out of each level's spell list. The maximum number of spells you may know out of each level spell list is 11 spells.
Ah, okay, that makes sense now. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. You have
spell level.
And let's roll 3d10 and pick up those other spells. And for those of you who are curious about this, a starting magic user in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and you can check this out on page 39 of the Dungeon Master's Guide, has an offensive spell, a defensive spell, and a miscellaneous spell that they begin with at first level. Read Magic is always one of those spells. So it is incumbent on the fledgling magic user to try and acquire more spells as soon as they can. So we're gonna 1, 2,
So help
3.
me God if you give me push again.
I just got the right, but I'll in stride. So we have 9. You have sleep. Congratulations. Your offensive spell is sleep.
God.
Sleep, the first level magic user's fireball.
Yeah, thank God.
Your defensive spell was a 7, and the last dude you just sold under a lucky star because that was 9, 7, and what was the last one? 4?
I don't know what the last one was.
It wiped the screen on me. If any of you guys, so 9 and 7 is 16. So the last one would have been 8. So your miscellaneous spell is Unseen Servant.
Okay, so what was my defensive one, though?
Shield.
There we go. Oh, I only get
Thank
one first level spell.
Very much tactical consent. I greatly appreciate that. And by
Excellent spells.
It will be shield. Or no, it will not be shield. It will be on. No, wait, no, yeah, it'll be sleep. Obviously, it'll be sleep. Duh.
If you're just watching this for the first time, please, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, click the like button if you like the video, but definitely click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and leave us a comment below and tell us what you're enjoying about this. If you like the visual elements, of course, we occasionally do combat out on the table. We now have 2 high definition cameras that we'll be putting into play during different and appropriate times for you guys to enjoy in sort of a miniatures type look. You have taken sleep. You have memorized sleep for the day. And what about our cleric? What does our cleric have memorized?
Me, I took bless.
Okay. Piesu Domine, dona eas requiem. All right. So away you towards the caves. The forest you have been passing through has been getting more dense, tangled, and gloomier than before. The thick, twisted tree trunks, unnaturally misshapen limbs, writhing roots, clutching and grasping thorns and briars all seem to warn and ward you off, but you have forced and hacked your way through regardless. Now the strange growth has suddenly ended. Getting a little feedback there. I'm going to drop a little. There we go. Now the strange growth has suddenly ended. You have stepped out of the thicket into a ravine-like area. The walls rise rather steeply, to either side to a height of about 100 feet or so, dark, streaked rock mingled with earth. Clumps of trees grow here and there, both on the floor of the ravine and up the sloping walls of the canyon. The opening you stand in is about 200 feet wide. The ravine runs at least 400 feet to the west, to where the western end rises in a steep slope. Here and there, at varying heights on all sides of the ravine, you can see the black mouths of cave-like openings in the rock walls. The sunlight is dim, the air dank. There's an oppressive feeling here, as if something evil is watching and waiting to pounce upon you. There are bare, dead trees here and there, and upon one a vulture perches and gazes hungrily at you. A flock of ravens rise croaking from the ground, the beat of their wings and the cries of the magnified by the terrain to sound loud and horrible. Amongst the litter of the rubble, boulders, and dead wood scattered about on the ravine floor, you can see bits of gleaming ivory and white. Closer inspection reveals that these things are bones, and all of men, animals, and other creatures. You know that you have certainly discovered the caves of chaos. So what to do?
Are there any caves at ground level?
So as you look into the ravine,
I do have, oh, go ahead.
on your right, let me just get the map up here. You would think this would be one I would have just dedicated to memory. So on your right, perhaps halfway along, a third of the way along the distance, you see a cave opening. You'll have to go under a copse of trees. On your left, on the ground level, is another cave opening that is in the clear. So to your right is the north, to your left is the south.
What do you think? Let's take the right and check there first. Or do we want to check the
This
left?
place has the stink of my kind. It is stale.
I told you we should have bathed you, but you wouldn't let us.
I wasn't talking about me, Elf. Which way?
Let's go to the right.
Right's okay with me.
I'd state that I'm the smartest one here, and I say we go right.
What are we waiting for?
You to lead the way.
Well, I suppose there is that. These mercenaries, who do they follow?
Cleric? Well, actually, I'm the one paying them, but...
You paid them.
hell. Alright, DM. Can I have
Yes.
a couple of things? Can I have names, AC, because I heard their weapons, their sword and dagger, but I did not hear, can I get an idea of names, hit points, and, kit, please? 'Cause I know they have packs, but that way I can reference them.
Okay, so you have Finkel and Thrud. Finkel and Thrud. Leather armor shields.
So AC, what's that, AC 7?
7, yes. AC 7.
Yeah, I do know some things about this edition.
I just look over at Elmer and give him the quick side.
Nope.
side nod.
Bonus and attack rolls, right? Standard D8 sword.
I'm sorry, very choppy. Could you repeat that, please?
Sorry. AC, you say AC 7, no bonus on attack rolls, just a standard D8 sword, right?
Yes.
Alrighty. You said they had packs?
I'm sorry?
You said they had packs?
Yes.
Alright. We'll come to that as we need it. Can I get an idea of their hit points?
6 each.
6 each. Okay. And my apologies, I'm not using my snowball today.
I look over at Varug and I'm like, "How you feeling there, buddy? You feeling okay? You're not gonna be able to swing that sword, eh?"
Hey, Rig, swing a sword. I do it best when drunk.
Excellent, excellent, good stuff, good stuff. All right,
I'm not drunk.
I pull out my wine flask and I'm like, "Here, take a shot of this."
I'll take a sip. I learned my lesson, I think, for now. It has no bite.
Okay, so you march the 200 or so feet along the northern edge of the ravine. It's dismal in here. It's more dismal as you push through the copse of trees until you come to a cave opening. A large tree hangs over it, forming kind of a crude natural porch, and you are looking into the darkness. Now, not enough light really comes in here to see, but you think maybe you see an end and an intersection, but it's hard to tell. Perhaps 20 or 30 feet in.
Okay, so for the record, I guess for now at least, I'm up front, and then what? The gnome's like beside me or behind me, and then the elf and the men at arms and the cleric or something like that.
Do you want me to go scout?
I just want to slay and be content.
Send in Mark.
Kill him first. Let's
Hey, Mark,
put you in the men at arms.
The character. I already did, Bill. Yeah.
Let's put you in the men at arms up front. We'll leave the little guys in the back, I think, at least for the time being. How does that sound, party?
Well, I can see in the dark.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So can I.
In a way. What about these mercenaries?
Guess I'll just put this lamp away.
No, the men at arms need to be able to see also. They're humans. They'll need some kind of way to see ahead.
I don't need them ruining my vision.
Yeah. New plan. Half orc. You are with me in the back. We put the cleric and the men at arms up front because they need light.
We could do that. We might lose the element of seeing ahead, however.
Oh, we'll see their heads just fine. If anything happens, we'll know.
True. What about the gnome?
What about him?
Perhaps he should go first.
It's fine with me.
Okay, so Elmer, you are moving ahead, yes?
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way up to that where I think we saw that intersection.
Okay. You're just walking up there, correct?
I mean, not just. I'm stealthily walking up there.
You're gonna search for trap or no?
Trying to keep to the side and the shadows, that kind of thing. I guess it's all shadows, but just trying to be quiet.
I'll let him get far enough ahead that my armor's not gonna make too much noise for him. Give him away. Give us away. But I'm going next.
Okay. So there's leaves have been blown in here. There's sticks. There's twigs. There's everything.
No way to be quiet.
It's a little hard. Yeah, you guys all hear Elmer's feet on the floor there as you walk forward. And give me a D6 roll. You come to what appears to be a T intersection. You've got a left and a right, and you're stepping forward to there. So give me a D6 roll, please.
A big one. Oh, let me do it on here. Yeah. Okay. Still
yes, please.
Okay.
Are you gonna set it off?
There we go.
And I see a 3. Okay, so this is, again, one of those cases where Daddy made you go and cut the switch yourself. So you creep forward.
The rope.
You can't say we're metagaming.
Have fun being a thief.
Yeah,
Is okay.
the floor falls out from under you as you plummet into a pit, and you will take some damage. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt me. You take 5 points of damage.
Oh, geez.
He's dead.
Oof.
No, not yet. I got one.
Okay.
All right, Cleric, did you do the smart thing and prep the obligatory Cure Light Wounds?
No, I only have bless. I only have one.
Okay.
Yep.
Those of you that are there, you hear the clank of armor off
And
kind
a
of to the
custom
right
roll.
and to the left. You hear screeching and skittering noises. They're coming at you. So you've got maybe a round, you think, before those things happen. Elmer, you're in a great deal of pain. Since,
Yeah.
since you're at ground zero, what are you doing?
Well, how deep is the hole that I'm in?
10 feet deep.
10 feet deep. Is there anything on the walls that I could use to climb?
You're a thief, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's your climb walls roll.
Okay.
You'll have to open the pit, but I'll give you a standard open doors with some bonuses because it's designed to open. It's not a dungeon door.
Okay. How do I roll percentage on this thing?
We'll get to that when we get to initiative.
Okay.
But it is a D10, and it basically you click each D10 dice, and it puts them together, and then you roll. Daron, what is Daron doing? It's Daron.
Well, I was grabbing the rope to check down the hole, but since Elmer's doing a good enough job, I would just start coiling back up, put it back in the backpack. Look at where the noise is coming down the hall.
It's just in front of you.
Oh.
It's echoing, and there's sounds of stuff that you don't see yet, obviously, but will be upon you soon.
Guess I'll get my staff ready.
Okay. You're getting your staff ready.
Yeah, so staff.
Sir Standard, what are you doing?
I will I will fish out my bow and decide if I need to cast sleep or not.
Okay. And how about Vrug?
Sorry to break the mood real quick, but you don't have any bonus spells, Mobius, with your wisdom. I mean, is it so low that you don't even get one? A viewer mentioned it too.
That's fine.
No, I got my wisdom 16.
Isn't that good for one?
one or two spells?
No, I have.
And for those of us with extra edition 80.
I thought I only got the one.
So
Yeah, that might be two, huh?
Yeah, it might
Well,
be.
I get a bonus second level spell, but I'm not at second level yet, so I don't get a second level spell according to the way it was worded in the book.
Correct.
So I
your
gotta wait for my bonus spell, right?
Wisdom 16. No, those are cumulative. You have 2 bonus first level spells, and then you'll get 2 bonus second level spells when you reach second. So right now you have 3 spells.
Oh, all right. I guess okay, cool. I'll take Cure Light Wounds and Light.
Okay. So you got Light, Cure Light Wounds, and Bless.
Yeah.
You're readying your staff right now. What is Vrug doing, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna draw my longsword and ready my shield. The pit's between us and the junction, right?
That is
The pit
correct.
that the gnome fell into. Yeah, I'm just gonna ready and stay here.
And to point out the pit, because you saw the door open and the gnome, as he fell down. It is not like a perfect 10 by 10 pit. There's ample room on either side of at least a foot.
Let him come to us.
One of the men at arms says, he grits his teeth. This guy he's at the very least, he's seen action in the peasant levies. He kind of sets his grip on a shield and draws his sword, and you hear him mutter, "Rush in and die, dogs."
Aye.
They're getting ready. Elmer, why don't you go ahead and roll initiative since you've been on fire tonight?
Okay.
I got a 4.
There's that one.
You got a 1. Okay, so spending their round moving, the you see kind of an odd conglomeration. There is a pack of giant rats that comes running around. They had no problem skittering over the lid of the pit without opening it. And then there is a there is a cohort of kobolds.
Dogmen.
Coming around the corner, there are 6 kobolds that rush in. So they basically spent the round coming to you. You have, I will say, you've got, because they're kobolds, so you got 4 kobolds. Well, they haven't. Okay. So the rats go rushing forward. The kobolds will elect to move up and throw their spears. So that's what they're going to do. And not all 6. There are a total of 18 rats.
And the kobolds aren't crossing the pit. They're on the other side of it.
Across the pit, you see 4 of them, and they are all throwing spears. So let's see, 1. Whoops, I meant to roll more than that. Well, that's a miss.
I'm sorry. Do they have 1 spear each?
Yes. Okay, it looks like a couple of hits. What is your armor class, Vrug?
3.
And man at arms with you are 6. So
AC 7, I think.
Vrug, you take 1, and man at arms takes 5. He cries out in pain as a spear lands into him. The others go flying over the group and clatter. The giant rats have spent the round moving up. So thud, thud, the others miss, and they draw short sword and begin to advance. And you can see a couple more coming behind, and they have spears ready also. So party actions, only the rats are close enough to attack.
All right, gents, we have an option. You choose rats or kobolds.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got an attack right now, anyways, right? Because the rats are on us.
I was
Yes.
prepping. I was prepping sleep. So which choice, rats or kobolds?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Kobolds.
If I had my choice, I'd choose the rats.
It is your choice. Do what you want.
That's
Right.
it.
All right, I'll choose the rats. Sleeping the rats.
Okay. So in this round, you'll spend doing whatever you said you were prepared to do, and in the next round, you'll be casting sleep. Because basically what happened was the kobolds won initiative, moved up, threw their spears. The rats charged forward, so it's melee against the rats. I'm going to roll for the 2 men at arms. And maybe one of them hits. Possibly. We'll have to check that. But the rats will not get a melee attack in this round because they did move the entire round. Just to make that clear, I'm not about to hose you guys with those. So let's see. The fighting men are fighters. Fighter 1 for purposes.
Nice.
I'll roll for them. Roll number 1. That's a miss. That's a hit.
Okay.
And he does 2 points to a giant rat. Well, then, I did ready my bow, but do I have a shot?
Yeah, you can absolutely fire into the pack of giant rats as they close in. So go ahead, take your shot.
There's your nat 20.
There you go.
It's D6, not D8.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Arrows, the big arrowheads.
4. No, that's what broadheads are for.
Yeah, it pins a rat to the floor. It squeaks and screeches and dies. The man at arms slashes a rat badly. It's kind of dragging its back legs. It doesn't know it's dead yet, essentially. Let's see. Did Vrug attack?
Not yet. I'll smash one of them with the flatted edge of my blade.
The elf in the back said everyone attacks and turned into a ballroom blitz.
Still no seeing my dice, huh? They were working before I entered this room.
Huh.
Yeah, weird.
Well, we can still see the total number, I think.
Yeah, that's weird.
That was a miss. So. On you have to start with a recasting bless.
No. Well, I guess isn't that a couple segments that spell to proc that spell? I already had my staff going, so I figured I'd just whap.
Yeah, just attack with your staff, please.
Yeah. So one of the rats. That's, 17.
That will hit. You bring your staff down on the rat with a resounding crack.
D4 plus 1. 5.
Yeah, you pulp it. Drone Swarm sleep is hit dice dependent. It is hit dice dependent. Okay.
How's Elmer doing in the hole? Is he out of there yet, or?
You see the pit being pulled open. Actually, roll your climb, Elmer. Let's make sure that
Just 2d10.
Yes, 2d10. Well, I mean, the ones dice and the tens dice.
I can't find
there should be two. Yeah.
I see a percent. I see a D10. I don't have 2D. I don't have a.
Here, I'll take care of it then.
You have to go to the multi-dice select. There's like an option to select different dice, and you do that, and you just drag the little die down.
Okay, so you climb up and give me a D6 roll to open that trap door.
Oh, that's good. I got that naturally.
Oh, yeah. You pull that. This is a hinged trap, and the kobolds know something is down in the pit. So a couple of them are not surprised, and they look at you, and they have their spears. They're going to try and jab you in the next round, but depending on how initiative goes, you might get away. No, Drone Swarm, that's not what I mean by number of hit dice affected. As you'll see. So go ahead and so we've got, if I'm not mistaken, TK is casting Sleep. What is Duran casting? Is he casting Stick?
He's waiting for Elmer to get out so I can heal him up.
There are a bunch of rats between you and Elmer.
Great. I'm whapping the closest one to me with my staff.
Okay. Vrug, you going to continue to try and slay rats?
Yeah, smashing them to bits.
The men at arms know what's going to happen if they don't keep it up. So that leaves us Elmer. Like I said, you've pulled it open. There's a couple of kobolds there looking at you, and they're kind of leaning towards you with their spears. You can. I'm gonna. What is Elmer's dexterity?
17.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you can hang on the edge of the pit, and if you wanna draw your sword and flail at them, you certainly can.
Okay, I can do that. I'm going to tell them to eat feces and kobold, and I'll swing at them.
Okay, you're a gnome. They hate your guts, so they're definitely going to spend around trying to murder your face. The other four kobolds draw their swords and proceed to move to kind of shuffle into the midst of the rats. Now, the good news is, I think kobolds and rats fall on the same hit die chart. So this may actually go well for the party. Give me an initiative roll, if you would, please, Daron. Darryl. 6. Hey, you can't beat that. And that absolutely did not. I rolled a 1 on my initiative roll, so the
glad you didn't tie.
The party will go first. Missile fire goes first, not missile fire. First segment spell goes. That is sleep. And this, I believe, for sleep is going to be 40 years, yes?
Yeah, it's something stupid. Just to be clear, I'm getting them and not a party.
I've got you. I know where you're trying to put it down.
Yeah, that's for 5 rounds per level, so it'll last for 5 rounds. And hit dice up to 1 is 4d4. So do you want to roll that, or do you want me to?
And that will include the kobolds.
All right, there's your 7.
7 total. Okay.
And they're all like yeah. There we go. So bad roll on 4d4s, but it will.
Yeah, it's still a little less than average. So a bunch of rats fall down. It's not a saving throw per se. We'll just see, because kobolds are half hit die. So we'll say that doesn't go there. Ding dong. All right, I'll roll a d4 and see. Of the 4 kobolds that are up there, 3 of them also go down. So it's 3 kobolds, 4 rats fall to the floor, and there's 1 kobold who's looking around, and he looks at you, and his little red eyes with their beady yellow pupils get bigger. Okay, so some of the rats are down, some of them are not. Melee attacks happen, and let's start with Elmer. You have a chance to strike at the 2 kobolds, because in their kobold bloodlust hatred of gnomes, they are casting caution to the wind.
All right, I get a +1 to hit on kobolds, so let's
Nice.
see what happens. That's a 13. Okay.
That's a 13. Let us observe. And you are Thief 1, 13. And let's see what their armor class is. In this case, I'm going to say, again, because of their bloodlust against kobolds, that that is going to hit. They're throwing caution to the wind because they want you dead.
Okay. Short swords 1d6, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And the big one.
All right, yeah, you slash the arms of one of the kobolds, and he screeches. And perhaps learning from the lesson, it will just be in this round. So somebody roll for the 2-minute arms attacking rats.
Okie. Let's see how this goes. All right, number 1 and number 2.
That's a
No.
All right, Duran.
He's gonna take a smack at one of those rats. Oh, stupid dice roller. Nice.
Oh, that is a solid hit, Padre. Crunch. Lean in with your staff.
3.
Okay. You smash another one. So that's 8 rats. Seven rats are hors de combat, and we're now to Vrug. Vrug, do something terrible. Don't do something terribly. Do something terrible. That was terrible. Oh, I can see your wave. So that's awesome.
You could see it that time? Yeah, I was screwing around with that a bit. Yeah, so it's a modified total of 8, which is AC 12.
And that ain't, yeah, no, they're not that skeevy. Okay, so counter attacks. Let's say there's only one kobold, and he is actually going to jump at one of the men at arms, the badly injured fellow, actually. Oh dear. Well, that isn't good. Okay, so he swings his weapon, which we're going by the Monster Manual rules for the kobold. The Monster Manual, not the Monster Automatic. All right. These guys are listed as 1 to 4 damage, so this is almost certainly going to take your fellow down, but it may not kill him outright. It does not kill him outright, but he does scream in agony and fall, spilling his blood on the floor. There are some rats that have got some attacks coming up here. Drug, you're going to take a couple of rat attacks.
Bill, do you take 2 points? 3 or 4?
I'm sorry, you broke up?
Sorry, did you take 2 points, 3 or 4? He was at 2 hit points. Did you take 3 or 4?
Oh, he took 2.
Okay, so he's at 0. He's stable.
Yeah. And let's see. That was a what is Drug's armor class? Vrug's.
Yeah, 3.
Oh, well, you might not have... Oh, now that's a cool feature. If you did miss your die roll, as I just did, you can click the tab while it's still on the screen, and it will actually show you what your dice came up as. So you are hit once by a rat common hit, and you take 2 points of damage. I do kind of wish that the D-Force presented on screen, particularly for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clark. Have a good evening. Thank you. Okay, so you take a couple of points of damage, and then there's a couple of rats on the other man-at-arms. He is for sure damaged. Oh, that is a nasty bite. It grabs him and just takes a chunk out, and he's bleeding all over the place, but he's still in the fight. So you still have 10 giant rats. I'm sorry. Well, wait. You killed a great many of them. You've killed 5 of them. You slept 7 of them. Well, you slept some kobolds. So there's, let me see, it was 4 and 3 kobolds, and you killed 5. So there's still 9 giant rats, 1 kobold that's up, and 2 kobolds in the back that are fighting against Elmer. Elmer, you're hanging on to that hanging on to your life. They will sure do it to you first, but you can fight from here at no advantage or disadvantage. So will Elmer continue to try and fight there?
Oh gosh. Yeah, why not?
Okay. Duran, what are you doing? You still sticky? You're playing Whack-A-Rat? Mobius?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Mod Hunter. It's the internet's just being weird all over the East Coast, I guess, tonight. Sir Standard, what are you doing now?
That's just going to be 2 arrows then. So
Okay.
because I have my short bow and the 1 minute arms that's still standing. How much damage did you say he took? You just said he had a chunk taken out of it.
You took 4.
4. Thank you. All right. So he is at 3 of 7. He'll stay in and either die or die, and we'll go from there.
And Vrug. Melee?
Yes, sir.
All right. We are to Sir Standard. Please roll initiative for the party, please.
Well, I was looking at their hit points, but their AC, their hit points at all times. Sorry, they have 6 hit points. So, Rug is going to not Rug. The other man at arms are going to stabilize his friend. And that is a 3.
That is a 3. I rolled a 1. Missile fire goes first.
All right. Yeah. You want me to roll both mine now, or? That's an 8 total. Isn't going to hit.
Okay. This is not for any purpose. My browser just kind of hung. I just want to make sure. Okay.
3, so he's at 3. Okay.
Okay. Melees go first. Elmer Sticky Fingers. Become Elmer Stab Hands.
Yeah, come on.
All right, a 15 with the +1.
That will hit.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he leans over and you ram your blade into him, and he screams, and you just kind of, you've got one hand on the edge of the pit, your little gnomish feet, you stab up into him and you flip him over, and he just lands with a wet thud behind you.
Nice.
So men at arms are stabilizing. So Sir Standard, I'm sorry, you take your missile shots now.
Yep. Well, I did one of them and I missed. And let's see about the other one. Yes, that will definitely hit. And will it be a dead
Is that
kobold?
going into the...
It is going into a kobold. And the kobold hopefully has 2 hit points or less.
Okay. Okay. we're definitely having some internet issues tonight, folks. My apologies for that. We lost TK entirely there. Hopefully he'll be back. So yeah, Kobold's badly injured.
There we go. Let's see if that helps.
Drone swarm. There goes Vyrek. What are we going to tell the chief? Vyrek was his favorite feet washer. Have to get your mani-pedi elsewhere, Chiefy. Melee attacks now. Duran, please do something terrible.
Get shot in.
Unfortunately, my dice roller has gone kaput. Hang on just a second, guys. So we can get this to reload for me. Hopefully that'll come back up. There we go. What did you get on that roll there, Mobius?
Pretty sure it was a 2.
Near 2. Okay. All right. Vrug. Sing this corrosion to me. Oh, I love
bastard.
That. Much better. Much nicer looking D20. But of course, Vrug speaks German, so he was just saying the bastard.
Yes, I was. Die bar die.
Unfortunately, that 11 will miss Vrug.
Oh, yeah, that's all I got, huh?
Yep.
Poor.
Men-at-Arms are stabilizing, so that's going to be a couple of giant rats on Vrug, a couple giant rats on the Man-at-Arms who's stabilizing, and one kobold attacking Elmer.
AC 5.
Okay, we'll start with you then. Somebody's there having a lot of fun back there. Armor class 5.
Oh, crap.
14. Oops. All right. Up to. Come on. Oh, that just misses you. You are fine and dandy.
Woo.
Okay. And so a couple of rats on Vrug. Is that a 17? That is a 17. And that will Vrug take. Four.
Ouch.
How many? Is that a 4?
Okay. Yeah, it was 4.
Well, I'm at 0.
Oh, crap.
All right. You are unconscious, but you are not dead. So you're unconscious, but you're not dead. Okay? So Vrug goes down.
Vrug, get up!
Man-at-Arm is being attacked by a couple of giant rats as he tries to stabilize his friend. And he's missed both times. Let's see. I think it's high time, though, because you've knocked down a lot of kobolds, you've knocked down a lot of rats, you've suffered a couple of casualties yourself. Let's see, both giant rats on Vrug, both the giant rats on the Men-at-Arms. It missed.
Checking morale.
All right. It is a new round, so let's get orders of operations. What is Elmer going to do? Again, one kobold, you see an arrow sail in and stick him, or were you firing at the kobold that was in amongst his friends? TK.
I was firing at the puniest little one that was there. You know,
As kobolds go, they're all kind of hail.
Curdle Milk the foot washer. You know that one.
Okay. Well, he's dead. So
Okay.
the assistant fush watcher, however, is still fighting your gnome companion.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this round, I will put 2 more arrows into people and yell at the cleric to do his job. And
Okay. Mobius, what is Duran doing in this round?
He's going to try to get closer to Vrug over there on the ground.
Well, Vrug is standing right in front of you.
Well,
He's lying down in front of you.
If I can reach down and cure light wounds on him, then...
Okay. TK is shooting arrows. Duran is healing. Man-at-Arms has ducked a couple of rats. He's got his buddy stabilized, so he's going to turn around and fighting 4 giant rats by himself. And Elmer's going to continue his lonely battle in the back against the kobolds. Next week, we're going to leave on a cliffhanger, guys.
Oh.
So next week,
hopefully,
we'll
Mark will try and save us.
Next week, we're going to find out what happened. Will Vrug receive healing and be able to get back in the fight? Will the lone man-at-arms rise to the occasion and hold off the giant rats? Will our cleric live up to the name Healbot? And what about Elmer Sticky Fingers and his strong right arm?
No doubt.
All these questions and more will be answered next week. Tomorrow night, we will be back with Kyle. He will be here at 9 o'clock. We'll be randomizing. We'll Kai's randomaton. To definitely do things fun. And then on Thursday, guys, don't miss it. I'm serious as a heart attack. Do not miss the Thursday show, because the one and only Errol Otis will be here to answer your questions about all things Dungeons and Dragons art and everything else he's been doing in the interim. So until then, guys, thank you to my players very much. Thank you to you guys out there in the audience. It was a stone group. We had 33, 34 people watching tonight, which was just kind of awesome. Sorry about the weirdness with the audio and whatnot. Hopefully next week the internet gods will be a bit nicer to us. But hey, regardless of what happens, I love you all. Thank you for being here. Peace.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Make it as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.